What is up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing off with what if everything went wrong in the Naruto series, and at this particular point in time we're now up to the Tsunade arc. So this is going to be quite exciting because prior to that we were doing the prelude to the Tsunade arc, which actually turned out to be quite a long video for the fact that there was actually quite a bit of interesting scenarios that could have played out, and yeah, that was one of the most enjoyable videos. So hopefully it actually keeps up in this particular situation. What if everything went wrong in the search for Tsunade arc? So we begin by having Naruto and Jiraiya actually finally leaving to go find Tsunade. During that time being, Naruto is actually training to actually master the Rasengan in this case, which is introduced by Jiraiya, notably saying that it originally belonged to the 4th Hokage. In fact, it was even pioneered by the 4th Hokage, so it definitely was a good thing to keep Naruto in check. And yeah, it was a great small training period where Naruto was actually able to achieve the first and second stages of the training, and before he actually reached the third stage, that's when we actually have the situation where Orochimaru actually wants to ask Tsunade to heal his arms. Now, right off the bat, there's a really bad situation. There are plenty of times where Tsunade could have actually decided to join Orochimaru, and it is quite possible. Tsunade is a broken woman at this particular point. She has lost her brother, she has lost the love of her life, and she even has a fear of blood. Orochimaru is also her former teammate, so I'm pretty sure that there are some strings attached. So with that being said, I'm not going to be surprised if Orochimaru is able to manipulate her to actually heal his arms, and it is quite possible that that would happen. So in the worst case scenario, Tsunade might actually just right off the bat heal Orochimaru's arms. At this point, Orochimaru would be able to go back to the Leaf Village and then fully destroy it once and for all. And the thing is this, at this particular point, Tsunade is just broken. She can't really make any decisions for herself. She hasn't really built up her resolve yet. She is technically borderline weaker than Kakashi, dare I say. I just felt that Orochimaru kind of pushed his luck a bit by kind of playing around with Tsunade. So had he actually been a bit more, I don't know, I guess if he didn't mention that he was going to grind the leaf to dust, then perhaps Tsunade would have actually healed Orochimaru in hopes to see her former lover and her brother once more. But in that situation, for sure, Orochimaru would go back to the Leaf Village, he would destroy it completely, and this time there's no third Hokage. The only person you have there would actually be Jiraiya. And the interesting thing is this, with Jiraiya versus Orochimaru, it would actually be quite a hard battle, because the way I see it is that Jiraiya could technically win, but at the same time I could also see Orochimaru winning as well. You have to keep in mind that even with a weakened Orochimaru, I still think that it would be quite a difficult battle between them, and I could actually see both Jiraiya and Orochimaru actually dying in the future battle here. So again, it's like a future scenario where in the worst case scenario, both Jiraiya and Orochimaru end up dead, so the Akatsuki is now, I guess, a bit more free to do their thing. They don't have to focus their time on actually hunting down Orochimaru. At the same time, you also lost Jiraiya as well, quite a big asset for the Leaf Village to have been removed, and as a result Danzo would probably be able to assume power a lot sooner than the actual story would have allowed him to. So yeah, things are just looking really bad here. There would also not even be a battle between Jiraiya and Pain, meaning Jiraiya would not actually decode the secret to Pain, so Pain would actually just end up coming into the Leaf Village. And keep in mind, Naruto would have no training from Lord Fukasaku, so with that being said, he was never actually a sage, he can't actually fight off Pain. Pain captures Naruto and the world is technically over in that case because they took the Nine Tails. So you could see that quite a few events could actually occur if one thing were to go wrong, and we could see that, let's rewind a bit to the point where Orochimaru is trying to convince Tsunade. There are many situations where this could actually happen. Keep in mind that they gave Orochimaru 1 week, and when I say they, I mean Orochimaru and Kabuto as well. They gave Tsunade 1 week to decide, so at any point during that time, Tsunade could have easily just went off and healed Orochimaru's arms. She didn't have to wait until the final day to make her decision. Now, of course, there is one thing I wanted to quickly mention beforehand, and I'm so glad I didn't forget about this, and that was the fact that when Naruto and Jiraiya actually went to stay in a hotel, Itachi and Kisame was technically already going over to hunt for Naruto. So in that particular situation, Sasuke is going out to search for them. If Sasuke didn't arrive in time, had Jiraiya not arrived in time, there was a possibility that Itachi and Kisame might have actually taken Naruto. In fact, Kisame was actually thinking about cutting off Naruto's legs so that he wouldn't run. When you consider that situation, again, it's also worse because they would have captured Naruto at such an early point as well, which might have sparked a new arc where they actually go for a rescue Naruto arc, which I could actually see that happening. That could be quite interesting, you know, to actually have an arc where the characters actually go and save the main character. But of course, with that being said, Sasuke does arrive in time. Now, in this situation, if Sasuke does arrive, whether or not he does arrive, he will eventually arrive anyway and find Itachi. So if that's being said, it would actually still affect Sasuke in that sense for him to kind of go down that darker path where he seeks power from Orochimaru. But I think that if Naruto was actually kidnapped before Sasuke actually arrived, there is a possibility that Sasuke would be inclined to save Naruto from Itachi, and without that beating, without that Tsukuyomi being applied on him by Itachi, he might not be driven to that darker path. He might be able to just rely on the leaf, which would actually be quite an interesting story again, where Sasuke might temporarily take over as the main character for the show for a while, which yeah, I would actually like that kind of story to happen. But of course, we then move back a bit again to where Sasuke actually does come over. This time, let's actually assume that Jiraiya doesn't make it in time. So what happens then? Well, Naruto and Sasuke might actually just be put in a really bad situation. Itachi might have went even further on Sasuke, though I'm not too sure about that. Naruto would have definitely ended up losing either his arms or his legs. Kisame was definitely quite serious in that situation. I think he would have actually done so. And yeah, with that being said, it would have ended really badly for Naruto, because at that particular point in time, I don't think people would actually just go and put back the or return his arms again, regrow his arms using the Senju DNA. I highly doubt that. In fact, they wouldn't even go and search for Tsunade, meaning there's no fifth Hokage. There's a possibility that, yeah, if Jiraiya arrived late, he would not be able to save Naruto, and this would be quite a huge blunder, a huge loss for the Leaf. You lose the Nine-Tailed Fox, you have this situation where Tsunade might not even be searched in this situation. I don't know, maybe Jiraiya would still go on ahead and do this, but by the time we get to that three-way deadlock between the Sannin, Naruto wouldn't be there to defeat Kabuto, which would definitely be quite a problem, because in that situation, Orochimaru would have Kabuto as well, so it could lead to Tsunade's death, it could lead to even Jiraiya's death in that situation as well. It was a really bad situation during that three-way deadlock fight. Naruto was actually quite crucial, so if Naruto had been captured by the Akatsuki this early on, by the time we get to the actual search for Tsunade part of it, it would actually not even apply at all, because Naruto was actually so crucial. And this would be a major blow for the Leaf as well, to lose Tsunade and Jiraiya, and then Orochimaru is like over there. Technically his arms aren't healed, but he could easily just still come back as well and destroy the Leaf if he actually wanted to, by gaining followers instead. And even worse in this situation as well, to make it really, really bad, let's say Jiraiya actually didn't have Naruto was captured, but Jiraiya still wanted to search for Tsunade. But in this case, Tsunade also decided, hey, let's just heal Orochimaru's arms, and in hopes to actually see her former brother and former lover again. So in that situation, it would make it even worse, because Orochimaru would have his full powers. He might be able to kill Jiraiya off, kill off Tsunade as well, and things would just be quite awful for the whole situation there. And then Orochimaru with full power goes back to the Leaf, destroys it completely, and he might even end up kidnapping Sasuke as well. So you could see how crazy the story would actually be if just one minor thing actually went wrong. And this is something I really like, because as opposed to a lot of the earlier arcs, if things went wrong, it wasn't going to affect the story. It would affect the story, but not by this degree. Like, this is really big here. Now we move on to the main event. We're gonna backtrack a bit, assume the story goes normally ahead, and now we get to the three-way deadlock situation again, where you basically have the three Sannin, but you also have Shizune, you have Kabuto, and of course you have Naruto there as well. Now in this situation, Tsunade can't really die because of the fact that she could still end up unlocking her mitotic regeneration, which would be quite a nifty technique to actually have, and that would obviously keep her alive. However, I could see several situations where Naruto might actually die from Kabuto. Keep in mind that at one point in time, Kabuto was actually just beating down Naruto, and yeah, he could have easily just finished off Naruto before Tsunade made the decision to actually go in and save him. So had she been too late, Naruto might have died, and we all kind of can predict what would actually happen. With Naruto dead, with Jiraiya potentially dead as well in these battles, we could easily see Danzo actually taking power. I mean, yes, I'm really curious to know how the relationship between Orochimaru and Danzo actually goes about, because Orochimaru wants to destroy the leaf, but then Danzo wants to become Hokage. So what I believe is that Orochimaru won't necessarily destroy the leaf completely. I think he will destroy the leaf and take off their main forces, and then after that he would leave the village. Danzo would then come over, pretend to be the hero, and he might even get rid of Orochimaru as well. So again, that would change up the situation. But Danzo taking power again would actually have the main forces of the leaf be the foundation. That is going to be the worst scenario. So I think we have reached the worst possible scenario in this here, and that kind of just caps it off with the whole Tsunade arc. There wasn't actually that much happening in the actual search for Tsunade arc itself. It was more so the prelude to get to it, where if one thing went wrong, it would just have this domino effect, and it would be quite crazy. The worst case scenario, Naruto gets captured. Sasuke is also just put in a really bad situation. He might even be kidnapped by Orochimaru later on as well. But yeah, Naruto would be kidnapped. Jiraiya might be killed off. Tsunade might be betraying the Leaf Village and actually healing Orochimaru's arms. Orochimaru then betrays Tsunade, killing her off. Orochimaru goes to destroy the leaf. The leaf gets destroyed, at least their main forces, and now Danzo assumes power, pretending to be the hero, killing off Orochimaru as well. And now the main Leaf Village itself, its main forces are going to be run by the Foundation, and that is just going to be quite awful. I mean, this is pretty much going to turn into a whole dictatorship. But wow, this was pretty mind-blowing stuff, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, then definitely drop a like. Also, share me your opinions as well in the comments down below. This was just really interesting, really crazy, and I love the different scenarios that actually come up with this whole thing, where if one small thing, really small thing goes wrong, it could affect the story so much, whether positively or negatively. But in this case, it is all negatively. Don't forget to share this video, guys, and also don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this. That way you could always be in time for when the next video comes out, where I will move on to the next arc. However, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. This is Enigma signing out.